Here's another drive to deep left center field, and this one is gone.
After a devastating Game 3 defeat, the Yankees are looking to their $36 million man, Garrett Cole, to step up and even the ALDS at 2 games apiece. How will the Yankees respond now that their backs are against the wall? My recap. Your reactions coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. Yeah. How's it going, everybody? We live to fight another day. This series is headed for a Game 5. If my voice sounds a little hoarse, it's because I was screaming throughout this game. It was exciting. This was a do-or-die game for the Yankees, and both teams were playing very aggressively. The Yankees were not messing around. They jumped out to an early lead. Guardians wanted the game just as badly. They didn't want to go back to New York and have to face that hostile crowd. Jameson Taillon on the mound tomorrow. And look, this do-or-die energy is not what the Yankees brought to last year's wild card game. That was a do-or-die game, but they were flatter than week-old soda. But tonight, the Yankees brought that edge. And look, Garrett Cole leading the way. We got to give a round of applause to Garrett Cole. You signed an ace for games like tonight. When you need a win to stay alive, you ask them to take the ball and to do whatever it takes. And tonight it took well over 100 pitches. And look, Garrett Cole was up for the responsibility. Last night on this channel, I questioned whether or not he had, I guess, the it factor to go out there and answer the bell tonight, but a really nice job by number 45. Also, worth noting that Harrison Bader is having one of those unconscious postseasons. You know, those things can get crazy. Watch out for him tomorrow night. We've seen a few Yankees do this. A-Rod in 2009, Bernie in 96, Stanton in 2020, Matsui during the World Series in 2009. And Harrison Bader is proving that that was a great trade by Brian Cashman. So, look, I got to tip my cap to him. I gave him a lot of hard times when he traded my second favorite pitcher, really maybe my favorite pitcher, for a guy who is in a walking boot and would be for another further 6 weeks. But the guy has just been immensely clutch. And one thing that you like about Bader, not only is he a hometown guy, so, you know, he wants to win for his own competitive nature, but he's a Yankee fan. So you tack that on top of it, and it just made it, you know, a little bit more special. You know, he's just, you got that extra want to in him, and you can really tell. So we will see another home game tomorrow night in the Bronx. Winner goes to Houston. Loser goes golfing. It's that simple. I'm sure that a lot of you are going to have a tough time sleeping tonight. I know I will. I had a tough time sleeping last night for different reasons. But to make it worse, tomorrow's going to feel like the longest day of the year. I've seen this, you know, well over 20 times in my life. Tomorrow's going to feel like the longest day of the year. Longest day at work, longest day at school. You're going to be extra irritable. Or if you're just sitting around the house, the clock is going to move extra slowly. So do the stuff that you've been meaning to do. Just a pro tip from somebody who's been watching this game for a long time, seen a lot of these type of games. Do the stuff you've been meaning to do tomorrow. Untangle the cords, clean out your car, you know, go back to the gym, start that book you've been wanting to read. Maybe not that. It might be a little bit hard to concentrate, but tomorrow's the day you're going to want to do it, because time is going to go very, very slowly. Interesting lineup shift tonight. IKF on the bench. Oswaldo Cabrera at shortstop. Aaron Hicks in left field. Another bloop dropped in left field. At some point, you just have to, tell the outfielders, look, don't let anything drop in front of you. If it gets hit over your head, they earned it. But we cannot allow these constant bloops to drop in. If there's a left-handed batter at the plate, pull the left fielder in about 5 to 7 steps. And that should be able to cut off some of these bloops. Gleyber Torres led off the game with a single through the right side, stole second on a strikeout pitch to Judge, and then scored on a base hit by Anthony Rizzo. Victor says he would run through a wall for Wandy. Yeah, Wandy had a good night tonight. Garrett Cole gave up an infield single to Kwan to lead off the game, but worked out of it with an efficient 12-pitch inning that included 2 strikeouts. He had the strikeout working tonight. Josh Donaldson led off the second inning with a single through the right side. Nice piece of hitting for him to use the right side of the field. And then Lord Bader, welcome to the dark side.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
3rd home run of the series. Unreal. He really has been unbelievable. First 3 home runs with the Yankees have all come in the postseason. That's an MLB record, and that's one of those records that might stand for a while. When's the next time that somebody's going to get traded or come up and not hit any home runs in the season and then hit 4 in the playoffs? And by the way, Bader's not done yet. He might have a whole nother series or 2. I'm more confident in one series than I am 2, but look, he's at least got one more game, and that's all that matters right now. Cleveland got the leadoff single in the second, but ultimately Garrett Cole pitched out of it, and Oswaldo Cabrera turned a hard-hit ground ball into a 6-4-3 double play.
Double kill.
Nice job by him. Guardians got their first run of the night on another bloop single in the 3rd inning. Bad base running mistake by Fernandez to get thrown out to end the inning. We've seen some mistakes on the bases in this series. I think guys are being a lot more aggressive. We've seen a lot more attempted stolen bases. And we've seen that both teams are not really running the bases well. Rizzo got thrown out trying to steal early in the game. Really not a great play. And then this play here by Fernandez, just not a good play there. A little bit too aggressive. Bottom 4, Josh Naylor hammered a 110-mile-an-hour line drive over the right field wall to cut the lead to 3-2. That got the Cleveland crowd back into it. And at that point, my bladder started to tighten. This was tough. The stomach is clenching up. The stress, once it got to 1 run, got immense, just immense. Top of the 5th, Yankees put 2 men on with an error and a walk, but then Gleyber Torres scorched one to third base. Ramirez knocked it down, but because Gleyber was not hustling, which has been a problem for him his entire Yankee tenure, he was thrown out for a double play. You would think that he would recognize how hard the Guardians are playing and hustling and apply that to his own game. Honestly, look, I know a lot of Guardians fans said some nasty things last night, in the comments and things like that. But I have to give that team some credit. I'm not afraid to give them credit. They play hard. They play the right way. Not crazy about the whole baby thing from Naylor, but hey, let the kids play. It is what it is. I can't get mad about that and be okay with Oswaldo Cabrera last night taking 5 minutes to go to first base. So I don't want to be a hypocrite there. But look, this Guardian team plays hard. They battle. They don't give away any at-bats. They run hard. They hustle. They dive. That's a good baseball team over there, and they're young. So they're going to be good for a while if they continue to get pitching. Top of the 6th, Aaron Judge led off with a single up the middle, and then Anthony Rizzo pulled a Jose Ramirez and blooped a hit to left field to put runners on second and third with nobody out. Stanton picked up a sac fly to score Judge and make it 4-2. But Rizzo ended up being stranded. Nice productive at-bat from Giancarlo. He hasn't gone nuclear yet. He hasn't had that Stanton postseason that we've expected, but watch out for him going back to Yankee Stadium tomorrow. With the crowd, I would not be surprised if Giancarlo attacks that right field porch again, just like he did in Game 2. So watch out for that. You know, the guy's immensely clutch. You remember that home run he hit off of, the dude for the Rays that went like 470 feet in the postseason a couple years ago. That was clutch. I feel like he's going to have another clutch game tomorrow. It's just a gut feeling. I have nothing to back this up other than his history, you know. Garrett Cole powered through 7 innings, 2 runs allowed, 8 strikeouts. Excellent job. The ace showed up. Very pumped on the mound when he left with a 2-run lead and 6 outs to go from the bullpen. That's where it got interesting. Clay Holmes came in for the 8th inning and held Cleveland at 4-2. Nice job by him. And then the Yankees went quietly in the top half of the 9th inning for the 2nd consecutive night. And then they took a 2-run lead to the bottom of the 9th. But this time, Wandy Peralta held them scoreless, let out a sigh of relief. Yankees force a Game 5. Series is tied at 2. Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Tyler Glasnow. That was the pitcher I was thinking of. That was a bomb. Junior Karamas, as Clay Holmes was dealing. It'll be interesting to see if the Yankees use him tomorrow night. One thing that is notable is the Yankees didn't have to use Jonathan Loaizaga tonight. So he will be available, and he's been throwing the ball very well. It will be interesting to see if they have to use Clay Holmes. Honestly, the best case scenario for the Yankees tomorrow was the best case scenario today. Get a big lead. Get a big lead early on and take the pressure off of Jameson Taillon. Now, Taillon is not a guy who's going to overpower you. He had less strikeouts than innings pitched. So look for contact, and that could be trouble with this Guardians team. They're a contact-hitting team. But I do feel like if Taillon is on, he can spin a gem. Problem is, if he's off, he has potential to get rocked. Dr. Hitskin says, Cole with the Superman cape tonight. And Squint Eastwood, funny name, says, Cole has been proving me wrong this postseason, and I'm happy to see it.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Agreed, 100%. Bronx Talk says, ridiculously stressful game. You guys are a little bit young, I agree with you, but let me tell you about some stressful games. 2003 ALCS Game 7 was tonight. That was tonight. Yankees were down 5-2. They came back and won. Aaron Boone walked it off with a home run. But Roger Clemens started that game. He did not have it. Wells came in at one point to face David Ortiz. Ortiz took him deep. Giambi had been struggling for the entire series. Yankees dropped him to 7th in the lineup. He hit 2 home runs in that game. Yankees mounted a rally off of Pedro after Little, the manager Little for the Red Sox, I think his name was Grady Little, refused to take Pedro out of the game. And then you saw hits by Matsui, by Bernie, by Jeter. That was a ridiculously stressful game, so much so that I think it affected the Yankees in the World Series. It was just like a huge letdown once you got to the World Series. CTC Card says DJ and Benny definitely missed. I hope those guys get right. I don't think we're going to see DJ again this postseason. Benny really does have an outside shot. If Benny is healthy and taking at bats, I would love to see him in the ALCS should the Yankees get there, because the Houston Astros have a ton of good right-handed pitchers, and just being in Yankee Stadium for 3 games in the middle of that series, just as he's coming into his own, that could be a big deal. Could be a big deal. Saber says the perfect word for the Guardians is pesky. You know, I called them pesky during my series preview, and a couple of Guardians fans took exception to that. But I meant it as a compliment. They're tough to strike out. Pesky is a baseball vernacular word for somebody who's tough to strike out. That's just a pest that just fights and is gritty. It's a compliment to call somebody pesky. I like pesky players. They're fun to watch. Eric C. says, who's in the lineup for tomorrow's game? That'll be interesting. I would pretty much stick with what you had tonight. I know that Hicks is not a fan favorite, but left-handed bat in Yankee Stadium with one game, I think I'd like as many lefties in there as possible. Victor says Clay should use the slider more. That thing is filthy. 100% agree. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box score tonight. You guys want to watch the highlights? Let's watch the highlights first. Tend to watch the highlights together for wins. And shout out to Frankie Baseball, who is my highlight guy, for helping to call this together tonight. Good job to you, Frankie. This was the first inning base hit by Gleyber Torres through the right side. He's always better when he's using the right side. Judge strikes out, but Gleyber takes second base. Throw gets away. Good to see him being aggressive. This was a base hit from Rizzo. You see the throw come in, but it's going to hit the mound. That allowed Gleyber Torres to score. Garrett Cole dealing. Gets the strikeout there on a check swing. Makes Ramirez look bad on a half swing. Josh Donaldson going through the right side with a base hit. He's also better when he's using the right side. Good to see them doing that right now. But Harrison Bader!
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Long home run from Darth Vader, sorry. Here was the 6-4-3 double play turned by Oswaldo Cabrera. This was another bloop. I mean, look how deep Hicks is playing in left field. They've been hitting it to that spot all week. That's how Ramirez gets so many RBIs. He hits them where they ain't with runners on base. And then Naylor just nailing this one over the right field wall, pun intended, scorched it. But Garrett Cole fights back, and man, he was strong tonight. He had all his pitches working. You saw the curveball, you see the changeup. There's another breaking ball on the outside corner, real pitcher's pitch to get Straw. And then Judge hits one up the middle. This was actually a really nice play by Jimenez, but just pulls the runner off the bag. This was later on. This was the bloop by Rizzo to put runners on second and third. A little trouble out there for Kwan. And then Giancarlo, I thought he got it. I screamed. That's why my voice is hoarse. I went, ah! And ends up being just a sac fly, but we'll take it. And then Garrett Cole getting through the sixth. What a job by Garrett Cole tonight. Parker says going to have PTSD whenever he watches SpongeBob tonight. Yeah, we had some SpongeBob references, and Michael says this one is for Frankie Baseball. I'll be sure to pass that $5 along in his salary. All right. CTC Card says Bader at leadoff. I like it. But Torres did an okay job today. I would definitely try and get Bader more at bats tomorrow. Maybe scoot him up in the lineup. Maybe put him between Stanton and Cabrera. Bat him fifth. Anyway, Torres goes 1 for 4 tonight with the single. Judge 1 for 4, the infield single. Rizzo had a couple hits tonight. That was the only multi-hit game for the Yankees. He's the only guy at the top of the lineup that's really doing a lot in this series. He's hitting 286, got a 983 OPS. Stanton 0 for 3. He is hitting 083 in the series. But again, tonight, better swing. I think he could be getting ready to go off. Donaldson 1 for 4 tonight. Made a couple of nice plays in the field. Cabrera 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, hitting 133 in the series. Looked a little bit overmatched tonight. Bader goes 1 for 3 with 2 ribbies. He is a strong, honorable mention for the belt. I don't think we officially gave out the belt, so let's do it. Garrett Cole. And then Trevino 0 for 3. Hicks 0 for 2. Only extra base hits came from Rizzo and Bader. And the Yankees used 3 pitchers to get through it. Overall, Garrett Cole gets his second win of the postseason, picks up 8 more strikeouts, got a 2.03 ERA in this series. And Holmes worked a scoreless 8th, Peralta scoreless 9th, and the Yankees get it done. Ben K says, more mustache at bats, please. I would love to see Carpenter get a big at-bat or 2 tomorrow night. Stone Cold says, Cole is the ace of spades. I like it. And Matty D said he loved Cole's intensity tonight. I think that's an important factor. Thank you for the dono.
Excellent.
He was super pumped up, super focused, very intense. And now Baba Ganoush says what we're all thinking. The Yankees need to focus on tomorrow and win this game. Anthony says Bader will get an ovation at the stadium. I think that's a guarantee. I mean, he deserves every round of applause that he gets from here on out. He has been phenomenal in his first postseason with the Yankees. I like that he takes a nice, compact approach at the plate. He's strong. He brings a lot of energy. He's always hustling. You'll never catch him not hustling. He hits the ball, he puts his head down, and he runs. Even on his home runs, he's busting it out of the box, and I frickin' love that. Andrew Calabria says, props to Cole and Judge for staying healthy. It wasn't a given, but look, a lot of times when pitchers sign these big contracts like Garrett Cole has had, they end up running into trouble. I mean, Luis Severino signed a 4-year deal and ended up being hurt for most of it. But he's finally healthy, and hopefully we get to see him in the ALCS. Ben K says, Monday fun day. I don't know how fun it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be stressful all day long.
Absolutely. Hey.
Alex Valerio said he would have preferred Herman over JMO to start tomorrow. I think the reason that they're going with JMO, one, he's a little bit more seasoned. He's a veteran. And not that Herman isn't a veteran. He's pitched several years, but JMO's been around longer. And JMO throws more strikes, which is super important in the postseason. You can't be walking people. And I don't think that Herman quite has the command that JMO does. I mean, he's probably got more electric stuff. He throws a little bit harder, got a good breaking ball. But look, Tyone's a tough pitcher to hit. He's 6'5" at least, got a big, high release point. And, I mean, he throws downhill, got a good overhand curveball. And like we said, he throws strikes, he pounds the zone. So, look, I'm confident that he's going to give us a solid start tomorrow. Will we win? I don't know. I really don't know. It's really going to depend on how well the Yankees bats do. I'm not sure who's starting tomorrow for the Indians, or for the Guardians, rather. I think it's Savali, who has not pitched in this series. Lou Rom says, give Carp the lumber tomorrow.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Paolo says, Cole earned his stripes. And then Frankie Baseball says, there's a long list of people who need to apologize for Cole, myself included.
Absolutely. Hey.
Excellent.
He was fantastic. Andrew says the Hicks era is long over. I think it will be after the season, but he's still going to get some playing time if the Yankees advance. Dr. Randy Cokewave says Cole is pitching as postseason pitcher quality, and then a fire emoji. I like it.
Absolutely. Hey.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Parks and Young says Oswaldo needs to be the starting shortstop. Hey, look, IKF has had a bad series. He really has. And it makes a lot of sense that you stick with Oswaldo, because you don't want to stick him back in there saying you had to pull him out for a do-or-die game. It's tough to go back to him tomorrow. Sweeney Murdy had a great tweet about that. I mean, what does it do to a guy's confidence to pull him out of a do-or-die game because you don't trust his defense? And he's looked bad defensively. But Oswaldo Cabrera looks slick over there at shortstop. Honestly, the guy who should have been on this roster is Oswald Peraza. He's your best shortstop defensively on the team, in the organization probably. And he can hit, and he's got speed. And I don't think the Guardians have seen him. And he hasn't really had enough at-bats to really get a great scouting report on him. So, honestly, I think the Yankees kind of effed up by not putting Peraza on the roster. I think he would have done a nice job. Maybe in the ALCS. We'll see. We'll see. Andrew says he would have liked to have seen Nestor take the mound. If you're talking about tomorrow, there is a non-zero chance that we could see Nestor. Aaron Boone said that he could be available for a couple of innings. Parks and Young says, what a game. I love this game. I love baseball. Fantastic game. All-timer. Mike Buglione wants to put Carp at third. I don't know about that. He hasn't played third base in a while. In a game where one defensive mishap can cost you against a contact-hitting team, I'm hesitant to put Carpenter in the field. I would love to get him an at-bat. I would love to see him hit late in the game, maybe. But look, maybe the Yankees won't need him late in the game. Maybe they'll jump out. The situation I'm hoping for the most is that the Yankees get a big early lead, 5 or 6 runs, and just expand from there over the course of the game, and JMO shuts it down, and we have a stress-free night. The stress is killing me, baby. But tonight, Wandy got it done, and Secondhand Noise says, in Wandy, we trust. Not Safe Streaming says, Cole shoved. Definitely his biggest moment as a Yankee so far. You needed this game. I mean, it's win or go home. And you just love how aggressive he was and how pumped up he was and how he challenged guys up in the zone. You'd like to see him avoid the home run ball. But look, it is what it is. He's going to get jumped sometimes because he throws so hard. And fastballs are the easiest pitch to hit for home runs other than maybe hanging sliders. Dr. Van Nostrand says Savali versus Tyone, probably a bullpen game for both teams.
I hardly
You're probably
agree.
right. Let's see here. And Anthony Segura, with a great point, says that Cole kept his calm even after the Naylor home run, which is something we don't always see from him. A lot of times when things start to kind of go off the rails a little bit, he can lose it, and he can allow the quote-unquote big inning. But tonight he avoided that, and he did a really great job. Samantha says, why isn't Nestor starting? I think it's just a matter of rest. You know, he just pitched a few days ago. If you hadn't had the rain out, he might have started. He was on pace to start game 5, but that rain out kind of forced everything back a day, and so he had to pitch on Friday. Finn Lodge says Peralta is the closer and Holmes the setup man. That's the way it worked out tonight. And Squint Eastwood says, Cleveland, make my day. Love it. Matty D says, look at Wandy go. Very clutch. Thank you for the dono.
He's done it again.
And yes, it would only be 3 days rest for Nestor if he decided to go. I'm so glad that I didn't have to get on here and do a sad video. Much like a politician who doesn't expect to lose, I didn't write any kind of concessionary notes. I was just counting on the Yankees winning tonight. Usually I write a little bit of an intro that, at least some notes if the Yankees win and if they lose, just to set the mood, the tone for the video, for the podcast. Last night pissed me off, not only because the Yankees lost, but because I had this great video planned. It was going to be all upbeat. I had highlights mixed in. It was just going to be a ton of fun. But I told my wife, it's like, imagine that you have to give a presentation at work. And then literally at the last second before you have to give your presentation, the entire tenor of the presentation changes. You have to change the ending. And you have to change what you're wearing. I had to change my hat. But couldn't go with the fun hat after a loss in the playoffs. Oh, man. And Anthony Segura says, keep Oswaldo for now. IKF is shook. 100% agree. Avicii says, we still need a new manager. We'll see. We'll see. Secondhand Noise wants Peraza up and Hicks down. Easy decision. Not as easy as it may look because Peraza doesn't play the outfield. Although, Oswaldo Cabrera could play the outfield. LeCastro can come in for defense. I haven't understood why LeCastro wasn't in there for defense last night. I would have had him in there. I mean, he's the fastest guy, and I would have told him to play in. No bloops. Make him hit it over your head the opposite way. That's a tough thing to do. And then Andrew says, Tyone needs to go deep tomorrow. Don't think it's going to happen, but, I wouldn't complain about 6 or 7 strong innings. Really, you want the Yankees to hit tomorrow. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the offense that led the major leagues in home runs. That's what you want tomorrow. Aaron Judge maybe going deep. Giancarlo Stanton going deep. Get the crowd into it. Just make it nuts in that stadium. Fritz says, over 110 wins? Who gives a damn? Talking, of course, about the Los Angeles Dodgers, who lost to the Padres. Notable, a big single late in the game from Juan Soto. I usually don't watch a lot of playoff baseball other than the Yankees, but, with the podcast, I wanted to be able to at least know what people are talking about if they're referencing other games. Usually I like to watch the Yankees and then just kind of focus my attention on other things. But I've been watching a lot more of the postseason. I had the Astros and Mariners series up on my computer, the entire series. I'm trying to get a look at the Astros in case the Yankees have to play them, see how they're doing. And I've been watching. I watched a lot of the Mets series. I'm not going to be watching the Mets anymore. And I watched the Dodgers Padres a lot. I didn't stay up for the whole game last night because I was pissed, but I watched the condensed game this morning. So anyway, one more time from Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
Thanks to all of you who have joined. And I will see you tomorrow night for the decisive Game 5. It is win or go home. So tell me in the comments tomorrow your predictions for tomorrow night, how you think it's going to go. I'll see you next time.